Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. You all are welcome. These are the audiovisual aids that are used to taught this lesson: multimedia, pictures, textbook. Objectives of this lesson are truly based on 5E model and Bloom's taxonomy. At the end of the lesson, students will be able to define past tense by giving two examples, identify regular and irregular verbs in past tense correctly, translate the sentences of past tense into English of a given paragraph correctly. For engagement of students and to check their previous knowledge, teacher will ask following questions. What are tenses? How many types of tenses are there? What is the structure of a sentence? What helping verbs are used in indefinite tense, present indefinite tense? As we discussed in previous class, present indefinite tense, the second tense is past tense. Past tense have also four types: simple past tense, past continuous tense, past perfect tense, and past perfect continuous tense. Among these sentences, the most commonly used sentence is simple past tense. So our today's topic is simple past tense. It is also called past indefinite tense. The past tense is a grammatical tense whose function is to place an action or situation in past time. Firstly, we know what is past tense. The simple past tense describes actions and states that began and ended at a specific time in the past. The past tenses are those tenses that tells about the events that are happened in the past. In languages which have a past tense, it thus provides a grammatical means of indicating that the event being referred to took place in the past. Past tense times expressions. In past sentences, they can tell and they are identified by some expressions, times, for example, by the word yesterday, last night, last week, 10 minutes ago, 5 days ago, 3 weeks ago, 7 years ago, 4 months ago. These all words indicate that the sentences are belong to the past tense. Past tense time expressions are words or phrases in sentences that indicates when the action occurred in the past. To make or to write sentences in past tense, we use two types of verbs. Basically, in past tense, the helping verb are uses, and the second form of verb is used in past tense. English has two types of verbs in the past tense: regular verbs and irregular verbs. Now we will discuss what are the regular verbs and what are irregular verbs. A regular verb is any verb whose conjugation follows the typical pattern or one of the typical patterns of the language to which it belongs. A verb whose conjugation follows a different pattern is called the irregular verb. So firstly, we will discuss what are regular verbs. वो verbs जिनके end पे simple pattern D या ED add करने से वो verbs second form में convert हो जाते हैं, उन्हें हम regular verbs कहते हैं. They follow a simple pattern. For example, needed, posted, shouted, talked, walked, played, asked. इनमें सिंपल हमने फर्स्ट फॉर्म में वर्ड्स के लास्ट पे ईडी ऐड किया है और इधर हमने जस्ट डी ऐड किया है. मूव्ड, लव्ड, क्लोज्ड, डांस्ड, अराइव्ड. Here are some examples of regular verbs. A regular verb is any verb whose conjugation follows the typical pattern or one of the typical patterns of the language to which it belongs. For example, talk, talked, laugh, laughed, pull, pulled, travel, traveled, watch, watched, cook, cooked. Among all these examples, the simple ed word is added at the end of the first form of verb. So these are regular verbs. Now we will discuss the irregular verbs. A verb whose conjugation follows a different pattern is called irregular verbs. और इसमें कोई भी रूल्स नहीं है कि किस तरह से irregular verbs को हम बना सकते हैं. ये सिर्फ हमारी मेमोराइजेशन पे बेस करते हैं कि हमें इन verbs की फॉर्म्स को याद करना पड़ता है. Irregular verbs are common verbs in English language and do not follow the simple system of adding d or ed to the end of the word to form the past tense. It means the spellings can be little tricky. We have to learn the spelling, we have to memorize the vocabulary. Some irregular verbs follows the pattern such as drink, drank, spring, sprang, know, knew, blow, blew, but we can't use those patterns with predictability. So we have to memorize them. Here are some common examples of irregular verbs. For example, awake, awoke, awoken. Here awake is the irregular verb. Second form, hold, held, held, keep, kept, kept, know, knew, known. Let, lie, lay, lane, lose, lost, lost, make, made, made, break, broke, broken, blow, blew, blown. इस तरह से इसकी different examples हैं. Begin, began, begun, become, became, become, beat, beat, beaten, do, did, done. So these are irregular verbs. Now we will discuss the structure of past tense sentences. There are three kinds of sentences: positive, negative, interrogative. For affirmative means for positive sentences, their structure is first of all write subject, then second form of verb, then object, then full stop. These are simple positive sentences. For example, I, that is subject, took, that is second form, and object tea. I took tea, मैंने चाय ली. Here are some other examples of simple past tense positive sentences. I worked hard last weekend. I went to Paris last July. I went the beach last Sunday. I bought a new pen yesterday. Here the words yesterday, last Sunday, last July, last weekend are indicating that these are past sentences and there is second form of verb, worked, went, bought. These are the second form of verbs. Second structure is there, the structure of negative sentences. To make negative sentences, first of all write the subject. For example, Aisha, then add did not, and then add first form of verb. अब हम यहाँ पे first form of verb क्यों यूज कर रहे हैं? क्योंकि did is already second form of verb. Do, did, done. So did is already second form of verb. So that's why we are using first form of verb, then plus object. For example, Aisha did not help me. Aisha ने मेरी मदद नहीं की. Some other examples of negative sentences are I did not want to learn English. You did not listen to music yesterday. We did not live in Karachi 2 years ago. The dog did not bark often. She did not buy a new dress this weekend for the party. Now, after negative sentences, we will discuss the structure of interrogative sentences. Interrogative sentences include the structure जिसमें helping verb means did start में आएगा. The did is in the start, and then you have to write the subject and then first form of verb, object, question mark. Did Aisha help me? Here did is the helping verb, Aisha is the subject, help is the first form of verb and object. Here are some examples of interrogative sentences. Did he work yesterday? Did she see him last night? Did you go to the supermarket? Did she play football? Did you live in Lahore? Did you want to learn English? So, as we have learned the positive sentences, negative sentences, and interrogative sentences of past tense, now we will learn that how to make questions by using the past tense verb. WH words are what, who, how, why, where, when. So, to make questions from the past tense, first of all you should write WH word. For example, when, why, where, how. Then add the helping verb did. Then add the subject. Subject, that is the person who works. That may be he, she, it, or any name, or they, we, I, you. Then first form of verb. The verb is the action that is performing. For example, sleeping, eating, meeting, and others. Object is in the last and question mark. For example, when did she meet her friend? Now you can tell me different example. How did she meet her friend? Why did she meet her friend? So you can add and make different questions. अब कोई हमारे पास उर्दू पैराग्राफ है और उसको हमने पास्ट टेंस में किस तरह से ट्रांसलेट करना है, उसके कुछ रूल्स हैं, जो कि उर्दू जुमलों के आखिर में अलिफ, बड़ी ये, छोटी ये आता हो तो उससे हम आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं दैट दे आर द sentences of past tense. So as they are sentences of past tense, we should remember the structure of past tense. We should know they are negative, interrogative, or positive sentences. So we can translate in this way. मैं कल स्कूल गया. इसमें पहले तो कल जो वर्ड है मीन्स yesterday, ये इंडिकेट कर रहा है कि ये काम हो चुका है, मीन्स दिस एक्शन इज डन इन द पास्ट. I went to school yesterday. गया मीन went, सेकेंड फॉर्म आएगी इसमें. वो मुझे ट्रेन में मिले. They met me in the train. अब इसी को हम नेगेटिव और पॉजिटिव में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं. मैं कल स्कूल नहीं गया. I did not go to school yesterday. अगर did not यूज कर रहे हैं तो went की जगह go आ जाएगा उसकी फर्स्ट फॉर्म. वो आपसे बात करना चाहती थी. She wanted to talk to you. इसमें सेकंड फॉर्म है. लेकिन अगर ये सेंटेंस इस तरह से हो, वो आपसे बात नहीं करना चाहती थी. She did not want to talk to you. और अगर इसी को हम इंट्रोगेटिव में करें तो वो आपसे बात करना चाहती थी. Did she want to talk to you? और अगर इसी को हम क्वेश्चन में कन्वर्ट कर दें, वो आपसे कब बात करना चाहती थी. इस तरह से अगर हम इसका क्वेश्चन बना लें तो आएगा When did she want to talk to you? Question mark. तो इस तरह से हम इन रूल्स को फॉलो करके पास्ट टेंसेस से किसी भी पैराग्राफ को ट्रांसलेट कर सकते हैं. Past sentences is a verb tense which is used to show that a completed action took place at a specific time in the past. The simple past tense is also frequently used to talk about past habits, generalization that the actions you perform in the past. Now it's time to class activity. A worksheet will be distributed to the students and activity will be conducted individually. Students are asked to write their names on the worksheet and some sentences are given to achieve the objective that they can translate the sentences. मैंने एक कैमरा खरीदा. डॉक्टर ने मरीज का ऑपरेशन किया. इसमें खरीदा means buy, bought. Bought is the second form that is used. Teacher will tell some vocabulary to the students if they have any difficulty in solving the worksheet. डॉक्टर ने मरीज का ऑपरेशन किया. ऑपरेशन is operate and second form is operated. उन्होंने हमारे मशवरे पर अमल किया. मशवरा is here the advice. उस्ताद ने सबक अच्छी तरह पढ़ाया. सबक is lesson and पढ़ाया means taught. लोगों ने चोर पकड़ा. चोर is thief. उन्होंने हमारी मदद ना की. उन्होंने हमारी दावत कबूल ना की. इसमें दावत is invitation. तुमने अपना वादा पूरा ना किया. वादा is promise. तुमने मेरी एक ना सुनी. फौज ने किला पर कब्जा कर लिया. फौज is army. किला is fort and कब्जा is capture. The second form is captured. So in this way worksheet will be distributed to the students and students are asked to solve the worksheet. After collecting the worksheet, teacher will recap the lesson. Before summarizing the lesson, teacher will ask some questions. What is past tense? Give some examples of past sentences. What rules are used to translate past tenses into English? What is structure of past tense? Which forms of verb is used in the past tense? After asking the question, teacher will summarize the lesson. First of all, teacher will tell what is the past tense. The past tense is a grammatical tense whose function is to place an action or situation in the past time. In language which have a past tense, it thus provide a grammatical means of indicating that the event being referred to took place in the past. Then uses of past tense, that the simple past tense is frequently used to talk about past habits, generalization, the actions that are performed in the past, and then structure of sentences, that how the positive, negative, and interrogative sentences are made and what are the rules for translation. In positive sentences, first of all subject, then second form of verb, then object. In negative sentences, subject plus did not and then first form of verb. And then in interrogative sentences, firstly the did, then that is helping verb, and then subject, then verb, and then object question mark. For example, she walked yesterday is a positive sentence. She didn't work yesterday is a negative sentence. Did she work yesterday is a interrogative sentence. And we have also discussed the regular and irregular verbs that are very important in the past tense. A regular verb is any verb whose conjugation follows the typical pattern or on the typical pattern of language to which it belongs. For example, I told you different example: roll, rolled, rolled, help, helped, helped, talk, talked, talked. And then irregular verbs, a verb whose conjugation follows different patterns is called an irregular verb. For example, go, went, gone. And our next topic will be past continuous tense. We will discuss what is past continuous tense and its uses and its structure in the next class. The homework will be written on the board. The teacher asks the student to write a story on any topic of their choice. By practicing and writing the story, they will know how to use past sentence as simple past tense, that is also called present indefinite, or predwrite is a tense that is used to write past stories also. So in this way, the today's lesson is finished. If you have any question, you can ask. Thank you.